I've been doing YouTube since 2006. I learned today that that was 18 years ago. My YouTube career is old enough to vote. Back in the day, I was making videos with my little flip ultra camera and my mini DV camcorder and crappy screen recorders that ran at like 3 frames per second and editing in Windows Movie Maker. And I loved every second of it. And as time went on, I've been able to support myself more and more from YouTube and support my family, buy a house, do crazy things that I've never thought possible. Speak on stage at events, meet lots of fans, whatever. And yet the core process, or at least the philosophical like existence of it, I've enjoyed less and less over time. I still like making videos, and once I'm sold on a project, I'm into it, but having to play the clickbait game and making certain thumbnails and navigating all the changes and dealing with the pressure and stress, I enjoy less and less every year. I've been doing the same job. That's not even true, though. Okay, well, I was going to say I've been doing the same job for 18 years. That's a long time these days. Like, that is a long time. But I would also say that's not even entirely correct. Have I been doing the same job? The job has changed drastically over the years, and even my focus over the years has changed. I was making random just videos in general, and then I was making old school gaming videos, and then I was making like Pokemon news videos, and then I was doing co-op Let's Plays with my wife. I was doing tech reviews and general tech videos, and then streaming tutorials, and all like I've done a bunch of different things. And even subject matter and like my side of things aside, the job itself has gone further and further from the artist role of just exploring the medium and doing things that I want with it and pushing the envelope with it, to becoming an advertiser, a marketer focused on trying to get the most views and the highest retention and the best click-through rate and all of that. The job itself has changed and is nothing like what it looked like when I was growing up. And that blows in many ways. Like, it really does. In some ways, it utterly breaks my heart. Like, I grew up wanting to do this thing, writing for game magazines, playing games for a living as an esport person or a QA person, or making YouTube videos. And it feels like every day, my job is less and less about the craft of making videos and more about just bull. And in many ways, that breaks my heart. But at the same time, if I were to have a conversation with myself from high school, like if I were to go back and have that conversation, my teenage self would be over the moon. Would be like, whoa, dude, you made it. You're doing this thing I wanted to do every day. Like, yeah, it came with some administrative duty you didn't want to do. Yeah, there's been breakups with platforms and agencies and whatever stress that you didn't want, but you still get to do it. You didn't have to go work for the man. You got to stop having your panic attacks going into work every day. You got a different kind of panic attack about work, but you still woke up every day wanting to do it in some way. And I think that's meaningful. I think it's really important to go back and look at who you were back in the day and actually think about what you wanted back then and whether or not you're living up to that now. And in many ways I am. And so I think I need to remain confident that I am on the right path. The path is twisted and turned, and it's going in different directions than I maybe originally thought it was when I was back at the start of it. But I'm still on the path that I wanted. I'm still doing what I want. At least I'm pretty sure I am. And so that just means that I need to take more charge of where the path is going or make my own new path. I've been doing YouTube for 18 years. It's time for a change. It's time to take more control over my experience. I think I'm at a point. I'm not at the privileged point that, the multi-million subscriber channels have where they can sprout up a new YouTube channel and get their play button in a week and all that stuff. Like, I could dream of that. I'm not there. I'm probably never going to be there, and I've accepted that. But I do think I'm at a good enough point in my career where I can start to restructure. I can start to reinvent myself and try to do things differently. And the past few years, sprouting up these secondary channels like Lost Saves that you're watching now, like the Analog Dreams channel that I did. That was temporarily about AI art, and then I got really uncomfortable with that, so I'm just making it about art in general. Allow me to express myself and to do the work that I want to do and get paid for it without, as much pressure as the main channel and sticking to those things. And I think through this, I will find a way to cover the things I want to do on the main channel and do it my own way. There will always be sacrifices. Any job you want to do, any career path you want, there's always going to be some degree of a sacrifice or compromise, I guess, between your idyllic view of what you want to do and the reality of doing it. But at the end of the day, you still get to do it. And that is what matters most. So I'm going to be spending, it is currently the end of March. I think I'm going to allow myself the spring. I'm going to slow down a little bit on uploads. I've got some sponsorships worked out that will help pay off some debt. We got a ton of debt I got to focus on paying off this year. Slow down a little bit and really think and process and focus on trying to reinvent myself so that I can look back at the end of the year and feel more confident that I'm on the right path. And I kind of want you to, if you're not happy with what you're doing, especially if you do YouTube or something as well, I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Allow yourself the room, allow yourself some time to sit down and evaluate what it is you truly want, where you want to go, where you see yourself in a year or two. A perspective that's always useful to me, because I'm bad at visualizing or imagining or whatever, especially used to, I could see I could see that YouTube was going to take over and be a thing, and I was confident in that. But at this point, I don't know what the next thing is. I don't know if there is a next thing. TikTok came and went, but there's no evolution of what we've been doing in videos and podcasts yet. I don't know if there will be. So it's hard for me to future predict. But instead, what I like to do is to imagine the position I want to be in looking back at the last year or two's worth of work and being proud of what I did. And so that's a big thing that motivated me to finally start this gaming channel and start this Liminal Musings kind of old school series, is I want to be able to look back in a year or two and be like, yeah, I did that at least once a week, most weeks throughout the entire year, throughout the couple years. And whatever growth, whatever return I got from that work is what I earned by doing that every week. And that is going to be a really satisfying feeling, whether I've gotten a couple thousand subscribers out of it or 10,000 or whatever. It won't be a lot, but whatever it is, whatever viewership, whatever impact it's brought to my life, it will be big enough that I will be happy with it. And that perspective is super important. I got to remember that what I'm doing needs to contribute to me being able to look back and be like, yeah, that was time well spent. That is what I'm proud of what I did. So, like I said, I've been doing this a long time. It's time for a change. I think it's time for a lot of us to change. Remember to be kind. Rewind.